Put that cookie down now. Hi, my name is Menura and I'm a Christmaholic. It's Christmas time, it's my favorite time of the year, and more than Christmas, I love films. That's hard to say, but I do. I love films. I'm going to talk about my favorite Christmas films of all time. For the past month, I've been watching a lot of Christmas films. Good research that is needed to talk about this amazing time and talk about the right films that you should probably have watched. These are the best of the best, the top 10 Christmas films of all time. These are my favorites, the films that I love watching over and over again every single year, and what I think deserves to be in that right spot. This doesn't have to be getting good ratings on Rotten Tomato or anything, because these are films that just resonate with you well and you like watching and enjoying and having a good time. Those are the films I'm talking about. Before I get to the top 10, here are my honorable mentions. Scrooged, Miracle on 34th Street, Bad Santa, Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Friday After Next, White Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Love Actually. Number 10, The Nightmare Before Christmas. I thought this was a really scary animated film when I was a kid, but then I did a few rewatches. I watched it recently for this video especially, and I loved it. I love how it has a blend of Halloween and Christmas with it. A lot of people argue that this is a Halloween film. After you go through the Halloween season and go to November, this is the perfect film to watch just to prepare yourself for that Christmas spirit. Tim Burton does a great job with the soundtrack of this film. He's a great director. I just love the story, and it's a beautiful Christmas film, and it's an all-time classic for me. Number 9, Jingle All the Way. We all have been that kid who wanted Mr. Turbo, and this is just a beautiful story of a father trying to find his son the perfect Christmas gift and going through all those obstacles. As a kid watching this, I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger's character of him trying to do everything he could to get that toy. Now realize some of the silly moments in this film. I still laughed at all of them. I had a super fun time watching it. It gives a beautiful message actually, and I just love it. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is great in this movie. It's one of my favorite Christmas films of all time. Number 8, A Christmas Story. This is actually one of the most realistic stories on this list. Probably is the only one. Again, a wonderful story about a boy who just wants a good gift for Christmas. We all have been that kid. It's such a relatable film. Ralphie is such an iconic character. Just like him, we didn't want a pink onesie for Christmas. We wanted that cool toy, and this film brings out so much memories for me. Even now, watching this as an adult, it brings out the inner child in you, and that's what you want with Christmas films. It's an old film. If you haven't watched this, dude, you gotta watch this. Number 7, Elf. The idea of a 6'3" elf walking around the streets of New York City is a brilliant movie idea. Adding Will Ferrell to that character just takes that movie to another level. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. This as a comedy is comedy gold. You can watch it thousands of times. Of course, it's very silly. You know, you can't say there's beautiful CGI in this, because there isn't, and there shouldn't be, because it's such a, you know, a Christmas film. It's a Christmas film, of course. All of these are Christmas films, and I'm going to judge it that way. And it gives out the message very well, gets you in that Christmas spirit. Buddy the Elf is so good. Will Ferrell making elf jokes. If you haven't watched Elf, I highly recommend it, because it's one of the best Christmas films of all time. Number 6, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. If you haven't watched National Lampoon's Other Vacations, or if you have watched them and if you haven't liked it much, I understand, because I didn't like it much either. But National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is one of the best Christmas films of all time. I have watched this film only twice, I have to admit. I watched it once a few years ago, and I wanted to watch it again for this list. And I think it has so many good moments about Christmas, that brings out the Christmas message, that it should be one of the greatest Christmas films of all time. The jokes in this movie is sometimes so corny, but it pays off very well. I loved this film. I was laughing, I was enjoying, smiling all the way. It gets you in that Christmas mood. You can watch it anytime and it will make you wanting to have that Christmas spirit again, even if you watch it in February. This movie is so good and it's an all-time classic. Time for the top 5 of my favorite Christmas movies. Number 5, Polar Express. This film for me was so special compared to most of the films I mentioned and that I will be mentioning. This film was really unique. The songs in this film is very catchy. The story is really good. I really liked it and I loved the visuals of this film because of its uniqueness. A lot of people have an opinion on how the film was, but as a Christmas movie, this is an all-time classic. It has to be, especially the bell sound in the ending sequences. It always gets to me. I mean, it's a train to the North Pole. That's Christmas, and this is a great Christmas film. For anyone who's saying otherwise, well. Number 4, Die Hard. There's an all-time argument about if Die Hard is a Christmas film. Here is my answer to that. John McClane's wife, her name is Holly. There are 12 evil henchmen. John McClane is saving people who are trying to get home for Christmas on Christmas Eve, while Christmas music is played in the background. There are subliminal messages from Santa in this film. Die Hard is one of the best action films of all time, but it is also one of the best Christmas films of all time. I watch Die Hard all the time to get into the spirit of Christmas. Without Die Hard, there is no Christmas. Number 3, the Santa Claus franchise. Santa Claus is one of the most important Christmas films for me. I have watched the Santa Claus film ever since I think I was 10 years old until this year, because I watched it yesterday as well. This is one of my favorite Christmas films of all time, especially Santa Claus 1, because that's a great film, but even 2 and 3 included. That's why I say the Santa Claus franchise. The whole story is incredible. Who wouldn't want their dad to be Father Christmas? I wouldn't mind watching it every single day if I could, because this film always speaks to me, always gets me feeling so Christmassy. I don't know if that's an actual feeling. It's funny, it has a good story, you can always watch it without getting bored. It's just a good movie. It's just a great movie. The Santa Claus franchise is one of the best Christmas films ever. Number 2, It's a Wonderful Life. This is not only one of the best Christmas films of all time, this is one of the best films of all time. There's a reason that this film is shown all around the world during Christmas time. Still, even to this date, I know that it's shown in Melbourne on the 24th. This film is so good. It has an amazing message. It has great songs, great acting, great directing, and it's just a beautiful film. If you haven't watched this, and even if you don't like Christmas, I don't know why you're here then, but even if it's not just about Christmas, you should watch this film, because this film has so much of good things going on. This is a beautiful Christmas film and it should be a staple in your Christmas list. Just because of black and white, a lot of people won't watch this. If you want to watch a good Christmas film and you have run out of suggestions and you haven't watched It's a Wonderful Life, please watch it. Please, because Christmas won't be the same without It's a Wonderful Life. The number 1 Christmas movie of all time is Home Alone. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can beat what Kevin McAllister did during Christmas twice. Home Alone 1 and 2 are the greatest Christmas films of all time, especially for me because I grew up with Home Alone. I learn something about the movie every time I watch it. I fall in love with it every time I watch it. For me personally, Home Alone is so synonymous with Christmas. It's like going to church on Christmas Eve. Most of us have grown up with knowing every line of Home Alone, knowing what happens from the beginning to the end, and we still laugh, we still enjoy it with our friends and family. And whenever we want to talk about Christmas, Home Alone comes up. So there's no doubt that Home Alone is the greatest Christmas film of all time. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. What's your favorite Christmas film of all time? Do you think any of these films should rank higher or lower? Let me know in the comments below. There's going to be a lot more coming up on this YouTube channel, so subscribe if you do enjoy what you saw. Thank you so much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.